As you know, it's tradition here at Saasveld that the tree is planted by our newcomers every year. You've carried this tree over the usual 50 kilometers, and I'll now plant it to commemorate your class. I hope that in future years you will come back individually to come and visit us and to see how your tree is growing.
As timeless as the ageless sea washing its eastern boundary, the indigenous forests of the Southern Cape manifest the awesome splendor that is nature's generosity and man's rich inheritance. For these are the cherished remains of an ancient landscape once richly endowed with indigenous timber resources. Critically depleted by ignorant and ruthless exploitation, large-scale afforestation has now restored this scarred vista, and today, plantations of exotic tree species planted alongside indigenous forests extend to the catchment limits of the mighty Outeniqua Mountains in an endeavor to supply the ever-increasing demand for timber resources and to preserve man's threatened heritage. And in the heart of this rich woodland, the future guardians of these resources are trained in the science of forestry at the Saasveld College for Foresters.
We have here rock samples and the soils evolving therefrom. We've got on the right-hand side granites and the soils...
Initiated in 1912 as a two-year diploma course at Tokai Plantation, the training of foresters was transferred to the college at Saasveld near George in 1932, where a much expanded four-year course is now offered. When fully qualified, the forester will be placed in charge of a forest or plantation to act as manager of that reserve. As such, his duties are widely varied, and he must be trained in both administrative and technical practices, such as bookkeeping and plain surveying, as well as the more obviously related subjects in forest botany and silviculture.
Water retainment and the nutrients within the soil.
To enable the forester to become familiar with the practical application of theoretical methods learnt in the classroom, a great deal of his training takes place outdoors. Of chief concern is the protection and safety of the stock on his reserve, and he must be able to recognize and control natural harmful phenomena such as disease and insects injurious to forest trees.
Somebody's got to stand inside. Beautiful, man, beautiful. Fritz, a bit of soil from the outside. Just level it. Oops. All right, no. That's all right. Dashing water, huh? Just the other one. Just hold that one. Okay.
Don't break it.
That's it, right? Just tie it fairly high up. Just a bit.
Okay.
Slightly more. Just a couple of tablespoonfuls is quite sufficient. And you'll see it going across the surface like that. It breaks the surface tension of the water, and the moss, once falling in, will just clobber down.
With thinning, there's three things you have to take into account.
Working in his natural environment, the student forester learns to recognize malformed and inferior tree specimens. Inferior quality stock is marked and weeded out when the forest is thinned.
But this one, obviously the bough, so we'll mark it temporarily. There's another example over there.
This ensures a yield of high-quality timber when the mature forest is harvested.
Come on. Well, we've made a fair catch here. How many we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. This attractant here attracts the males within about 800 meters from this in a radius, obviously dependent on wind. And they come fluttering in, and once they come very close to it, obviously they lose direction a bit. They fall into the water, and this wetting agent in the water sees to it that they immediately sink into the water itself.
The life of a forester offers a unique working environment close to nature. He must be aware of all forms of plant and animal life occurring on his reserve, and at all times endeavor to conserve his environment for the overall benefit of nature.
A career in forestry is a tremendously challenging and I think a tremendously rewarding career. The college life, there are tremendous traditions at Saasveld. The opportunity to live out in the most beautiful place, most wonderful atmosphere to study, none of the noise of the city, planting trees and watching them grow and harvesting the timber. You are living close to nature, you're working very close to God's creation. You live in an environment of which many people pay to come and stay in. Chaps, the whole idea of netting this dam is to see what fish we got in here and whether they're catchable size, and to see if the black bass that we put in here last year have been breeding at all. Now, the whole idea of fish in this dam is to give a source of recreation, fishing. And in an environment like this, I think it'd be a wonderful place to come and fish. And if you do catch something, well, you're well due rewarded. If you don't.
Although this serene lifestyle favors the temperament of the lone wolf, seeking a peaceful existence, working on his own in still, remote surroundings, as a manager, the forester must have qualities of leadership, and the physical nature of his work demands that he be tough. Contests of endurance, like the marathon swim across the icy lakes of Neisner, qualify the forester for membership to the elite Spartan Club, the traditional acknowledgement of the forester's physical endurance and stamina.
Okay guys, you ready? You know it's 2.4 kilometers. You have 1 hour to complete the swim. And you ready? Any questions? Pardon? Yeah, sure, you won't drown, don't worry.
Fallacies about snakes. Most of the stories you hear are old wives' tales. They're absolutely not true at all. The idea of this course is to make sure that you know what are facts and what are fallacies. And also, most important, to know the difference between a poisonous snake and a non-poisonous snake. For instance, the puff adder, which causes the most fatalities of snake bite in southern Africa, and completely non-poisonous common grass snake, which is absolutely harmless and does no harm to man at all. So a forester is very much an individualistic person. He has physical courage and also mental ability. He must be able to think for himself and entertain himself. What I want you chappies to sow seed directly into the holes. Sparks here can mark off the holes. Right, Skip, you got to watch some of these roots, they're a little bit long. Right, if it's a bit long, just nip it off. One mustn't overemphasize the physical ability, but I think courage, physical courage is probably a better word to describe him. And he must have stamina. the ability to win through, to carry on, and to carry on and carry on, and try again until he succeeds. Okay, Jack. So you must be careful, don't pull the plant out when you pull the weed out as when you're weeding.
Oh, the soil's a bit hard.
Yeah, you got to water before you weed. Hold it, breath. Relax.
The qualities required for a forester are certain academic capabilities, a love for nature and the outdoors, and he must be tough. Here at the college, most students take part in rugby, hockey, and Spartan club activities. Due to the demands, the physical demands on a student, we only accept male students at the college. The candidate follows a 4-year training schedule. During the first year, he's stationed on a plantation where he attains his practical experience and practical knowledge of forestry subjects. In his second and third year, he's at Saasveld, where he receives his theoretical training. After he's completed his examinations at the end of his third year, he's stationed again on the plantation for a 4th year of practical training, where he has to apply in theory what he learned in theory to the practical forest operations. After this 4th year training, he qualifies for a diploma in forestry. Now, Saasveld is the only college in South Africa and Rhodesia where this training is provided. To be accepted at Saasveld, a student must be in possession of a matriculation certificate. All the students at college board at Saasveld, and we find that it results in strong fellowship and creates good spirit.
So sweet, horse like Italian round your face. The Kentucky motion could never take your place, and your eyes to give me goosebumps down my toes. I feel like the only Brewster in the heat, I guess it shows. Mary Lou Jane, what a fine name. Oh, you're nothing like them females from New York City. The front teeth missing, but that's fine for kissing. I feel like the only Bristol in the head that to give it show. Mary Lou Jane, what a fine name. Like them females from New York City. The front teeth missing, but
I wonder where our Yuck is tonight. He's usually in here by this time.
He's with the girl he was at rugby with this afternoon.
Who's that, Mariana?
Yeah. I hear it's Nash's engagement this evening.
Is that so?
That's it, I think we take him off to the park.
You're so sweet, moss like Italian round your face. Kentucky motion.
Just let me put off this shot and we'll go and find where he is.
You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you are a man for me. Well, all my life I've been waiting. Tonight there'll be no hesitation, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you are a man for me. You know, stars appear and the shadows falling. I can hear my heart calling. A little bit of love make everything good. Well, I'm gonna...
Hey, what do you mean? Hey, come on, man. I got engaged tonight. Oh, come on. I've got it now, man. I'm tired, man. Come on, man. Oh, no, come on. Get in, man. Give a guy a chance, man. Come on, man. Go on, baby. On in.
Nou, juist man.
Hello, Mariana.
Hello?
Yeah, Rob speaking.
Yeah?
Did you enjoy the dance tonight? Oh, very nice, very nice. We've got a little problem here. Yak's been tied to the pole in town. It's next to the Presbyterian Church in Caledon Street. Actually, you better go pretty soon. He's been there for about 3 hours already.
Ah, this one. Okay.
Yeah, we're taking in that direction there.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's clear. Okay. Ah, come on. Come on.
In ancient woodcutter manner, the student foresters begin the thinning process. By carrying out these manual tasks in training, they gain the experience necessary to supervise similar large-scale operations when stationed on the plantations.
The move!
When you first arrive at a forest, the first thing that a forester has to do is to learn to know his forest in case of an emergency, say a fire or so. Your decisions have to be made by you. You have to be a leader, you have to be capable of giving instructions to subordinates. So you really have to know what you're talking about.
Oom, ek dink jy moet iemand kry om daai goeie takke af te kap, né?
Ja.
Okay. As dit so aan mekaar hou aan met reën, dan moet ons maar bietjie kyk, né?
Goed, ja.
Okay, oom. Tot ziens, né?
Ollie. Gooi die takke hier bietjie weg hier.
So that's the most important thing of a forester when he arrives at a forest, is to orientate himself, to get to know the forest, to get to know the people, to know which are your reliable people and so on.
Forestry is a career in that most people working in a city are salary orientated. They want to have a job for a salary, a good salary. Whereas a forester it's a way of life. You have to enjoy the work. You have to be like the farmer. It takes such a total dedication that you have to really enjoy yourself. Other than a normal forester on a pine plantation, you have your specialized foresters, the ones in the indigenous forest, and you have your the water catchment and mountain areas, natural Selt. These are very specialized research foresters. Foresters in municipalities that have to do landscaping and so on. There's a very broad range that you can change to from rather than just a plantation forester. A forest is a very valuable thing. If you think that the rotation, a normal pine forest is 35 years, could be more. And if something should happen to that forest, there's a tremendous total loss. Well, your main danger is, of course, fire. Foresters also carries a big responsibility in that way. He has to see that such fires are quickly detected and put out. I'm young. Yeah, there's no wind really up here. But I think anyway, we'll put a man up. It's wet, but after the rain, but I think it might dry out quickly. Eh? Okay, thanks again. Okay, bye. Just leave 2 labourers then, okay? Let them patrol the area with the radio. Okay. Okay, thanks. A forester, besides being a leader, has to be very versatile in that. Apart from your forestry, you have to be mechanically minded, you have to be able to work with people, and capability for paperwork is also quite a requirement because there's a lot of that.
The work of a forester is widely varied, and he must therefore be able to cope with any situation. It carries a large responsibility towards his personnel and towards all the activities on that reserve.
Hey Rob, give us that up there, please. Get the set on.
Can you just jump on the top here and not split the set, please? Yeah.
Mind your fingers. Get it square, man. What about the gasket?
Right, no, gasket's on. Come on, Yuck, what's troubling you there, eh? So you're thinking about marijuana again, eh?
South Africa is poorly endowed with forest. We have less than 1% of our total area under forest, compared to Germany with 27%. To augment the timber industry, we had to embark on large-scale afforestation. And today we have over 1 million hectares of commercial plantations. To manage, control, harvest, protect, and even develop this industry, we need trained men. Now, Saasveld is the only college in South Africa and Rhodesia where this training is provided. We are training Bantu foresters at Fort Cox, and we are presently providing facilities for the training of coloured foresters.